Groovy.
Carolina and talk to Bob on a payphone. Hello, Bob.
How you doing today, sir?
I'm fine, my friend. You all right?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Glad you called.
Hey, I'll tell you one that when you were talking about a car accident, it brought back Ernie Kovacs to me.
Yeah.
Because Ernie was probably one of the funniest guys ever going.
Yeah, and the thing they say most about him, and it's absolutely true, is that he was ahead of his time.
He was. I think he was.
I think he was, too.
You remember the Nairobi Trio, wasn't it?
Nairobi Trio, yeah.
And then Percival. Remember little Percival when he would read poetry? And he had the carnation or a rose or something in the martini glass.
His name was Percy Dove Tonsils.
That's right, Percy Dove. That's it. But he was without a doubt, I think, a fantastic, funny guy.
Yeah, I think had he lived, he would have the same thing would happen to him that happened to Mel Brooks. I think he would have gone right on into writing and producing his own movies, because I think that's what he was good at, the big picture of humor. He had it, and you tell somebody that never saw him about the Nairobi Trio, and all you can say is three guys in gorilla suits singing. Doesn't make any sense at all until you see it.
That's right. It was two guys, and Edie was the third one.
I'm not sure that, but one of them.
I think his wife Edie Athens was one of the trio, I believe.
But I would just pray every week on his show that they were going to do the Nairobi Trio.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Man.
Yeah.
And then pound each other on the head with the little.
Yeah, and just the mere thought of seeing a gorilla play the piano.
That's right. It was fantastic. It really was.
Yeah, but nobody out there who's too young to see that knows what we're talking about. They can't imagine it. I know. If you came to me and told me that, I would say, so what?
Yeah.
Got to see it. Got to see it.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he killed going to Milton Berle's party or something?
I
recall.
I know it was a terrible automobile accident, but I don't recall where he was going or what he did. And I know it was just awful.
But that was a terrible situation.
Yeah. Listen, got to go, bud.
Hey, you have a good one. Talk to you later.
Call us again, Bob.
Okay, buddy.
1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back. Home good time. Join me, Ludlow Porch, weekdays 10 to noon on News Radio 960, the new WRFC. All right, buddy people, let's talk to Dave right here on the radio. Hello, David.
Good morning, Ludlow.
In case you were wondering, you're on line 4.
Line 4?
I don't know what that means.
That don't mean I get a daily double or a prize.
No, that just means you're on line 4.
Wow. Well, I feel honored. I have to confess, I just started listening in about the last 15 minutes, so you may have already touched on this, but to me, far and away, the best comedian is Jonathan Winters. And the thing about Jonathan that I like, you were talking a minute ago about doing things off the top of your head, spontaneity. Mm-hmm. His spontaneity and his, ability to improvisationalize, I guess you might say.
He is the king of that. We mentioned earlier about Rodney Dangerfield going through the 4 years of life-threatening depression.
Yeah.
Jonathan Winters has been there too.
Oh yeah.
I recall in the I guess it was the 60s. He during a deep, dark depression, he was drinking and went down to the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco and climbed up on top of that big masted ship down there. And had a tough time with it. I wonder if there's a thread running through funny people.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe. But, you're talking about people that make you laugh just looking at them. Jonathan Winters is one, but as you said, Rodney Dangerfield, he does. He just seeing him on the screen or on the TV, he doesn't have to say anything. He just cracks me up.
Yep.
Just the looks. But, something else, too, I was thinking about and listening this morning is I was thinking about all the jerks that there are on comedy. Like, who are the top 10 jerk comedians on, primarily television sitcoms? As much as I love him to death, and I guess you could call him a lovable jerk, but Barney Fife could be one of the biggest jerks.
I've said this before. I know you've heard me.
Yes.
He had not a single human, the character, Barney Fife, had not a single human characteristic that would endear himself to anybody.
Right.
If you had a friend like Barney Fife, you'd probably avoid him.
That's right. And he'd be dead.
But still in all, funniest ever.
Oh, yeah. And then you've got, Ted Knight, who was on Mary Tyler Moore.
Despicable.
Oh, yeah.
But funny.
Yeah, Cliff Clavin from Cheers, and Frank Burns to a little bit of a lesser degree from MASH. But it's funny how so many of the really good sitcoms, they seem to have that kind of a jerk sidekick involved, or somebody in there that plays that jerk role that really, I think, adds the spice to the show.
Yeah, people that you enjoy seeing humiliated.
Right.
And like Frank.
Right.
You just look forward to the time when he got his comeuppance.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? That'll be another whole topic someday. We may do some of it today.
Yeah.
Some of the people who made other people funny.
Right.
The sidekicks, that people you don't normally think of as funny people, like Lou Grant.
Oh, yeah.
It really made that show.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was great. Well, just wanted to throw in my 2 cents. I do want to tell you this. I talked to Haney the other day.
Yeah, how's Mr. Haney?
Oh, he's doing fine. He's got him a new commercial venture, and it just reminded me about the conversation I had with him when you were talking about George Goebel earlier.
Yeah.
He is set to open his first in a chain, he says, of Goebel hairstyle salons, where you can go in and get the George Goebel. You get the George Goebel or the Carl Reiner toupee.
Either way.
Anyway. So.
Mr. Haney never quits.
No, he don't. Maybe he'll talk to you about that.
I hope he'll come.
But you take care. I'm going to come see you soon.
I double dog dare you.
All right,
buddy. Take care. 1-800-572-8255, Brunswick, Georgia, and Donna on the radio. Hello, Donna.
Hi, Betty.
How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Good.
My cat had 7 kittens.
All right.
And they all lived.
All right. I'm not sure whether to congratulate you or not.
I don't know where she found that guy at. Anyway, talking about people and things that make me laugh or don't make me laugh.
Yeah.
Well, I'll save the funniest ones second. The ones I just could not stand without listening to your program this morning. I just see that sense of humor is your own sense of humor. Everybody has different sense of humor, and there's neither wrong or right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you're right. But people like Dangerfield, who does that "woe is me" stuff, I can't stand it.
I get no respect.
It just bored me to death.
Yeah.
I got so tired of that. And Rickles, he insult comedians. They're not funny. He just insult after another, and like Red Fox, I didn't find him funny on anything, especially if you ever saw his live show in Vegas. He is so vulgar.
I never saw that.
Triple X rated shows in Vegas.
How about Sanford and Son?
No, I didn't think he was funny there either.
Just didn't
find him funny whatsoever.
Didn't touch your funny bone.
And the Jonathan Winters and the Dom DeLuise type, the corny ones. I didn't like that. They're not funny to me.
You don't think Winters is funny?
Not at all.
Who do you?
Dom DeLuise was worse in the corny category.
Who do you find funny?
I found Johnny Carson hilarious.
All right.
Because he has this dry wit.
Yeah.
Off the cuff. The 2 times that he had lawsuits with Arnold Palmer's wife and with one of the Gabor girls. They just set themselves up for his answers,
Oh,
I can't say over the air.
Always enjoyed Johnny Carson.
He just cracks me up. And who really cracks me up most of all is Gary Larson in his comics.
The Far Side?
Yes, that is my sense of humor.
That was the best thing in the comic pages for years.
I love when they got Rubes in there now, but it's not as funny as Gary Larson.
I knew they were never going to replace Larson.
No, that's my kind of humor. It's kind of sick, I guess.
not sick.
Not really sick. I know.
Twisted.
I just like that kind of humor.
More twisted than anything.
Yeah, a little twist.
I got to run, my love. You take care of yourself.
Okie dokie.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 728-255. Let me tell you another one left. Talking about bad ones, I think. I never smiled at Mr. Ed. I I think that's the least funny program ever to appear on television or publicly. And had I been involved in that, I would have been embarrassed by that, even by the success of it. It insulted your intelligence. It was a direct steal from Francis the Talking Mule, and just not a very funny program. Not funny at all. Did not like it. Rome, Georgia. Pete Moss. Hello, Pete.
Well, hello there, Mr. Ludlow. How you doing
I'm
today?
doing good, bud.
All righty. Has anybody mentioned Grizzard yet?
No, we hadn't mentioned Lewis at all.
Well, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
He was just, me and him were close to the same age, and so his humor was, it just was so nostalgic. And I have all his books and tapes.
Oh, good.
And in fact, several of them are autographed.
That's neat. Lewis, if ever there was one, Lewis was a magician with words.
He sure was.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And if people would read his books, they'd find out a few things that's not known generally to the public about Mr. Porch, too. Wouldn't they?
I'm afraid you're right. I'm afraid you're right. We, incidentally, I don't know whether you ever saw the book that I did about Lewis and his father.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got it.
I'm having that reprinted.
Really?
Yeah, that thing's gone, and you can't find them anywhere. And I'm working on that right now. I hope to have that out by Christmas. That's
going to be your Christmas contribution this year.
I think so.
No good.
Probably will.
About 90% of your own wackos are pretty funny too.
Oh, no question.
Oh, maybe 99%.
No question. We got some.
And
we got some funny and don't know it.
Yeah, this is true. They're not even trying to be funny. And people that they are funny, they turn me on and they turn me off at the same time. It's like Robin Williams and Richard Pryor and those type. When they're in a good, clean comedy act, they are funny.
Yeah.
But you get their tapes or something where they, are not generally like on television. They're so vulgar, they're just not funny.
I run hot and cold on Robin Williams. I think when you do his kind of humor, I think that you run that risk because a lot of that spontaneous, he's doing it on the spot, and sometimes that's very, very funny, and sometimes that just falls flat.
But he can be just as funny, Ludlow, if he'd leave out the cursing, the profanity, because the stories are just as funny.
No question about that. He doesn't need that.
Well, that was about all I had, so...
I'm glad you called, big boy.
As they say in Spain, osmosis, amoeba.
Take care. I'll talk to you. Bye. Hey, visit Colonel Pooh's Barbecue in East Ellijay, Georgia, and see the world-famous Pig Hill of Fame. Let's go to Welford, South Carolina, and talk to Coreen. Hi there, young lady. How you doing? Hello? I pushed up. Let me do this. Let me put that back on. I pushed up the wrong number. That was a mistake. Make a note of that, Denny. I made a mistake. Welford, South Carolina. Now I got you, young lady. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I said your name and pushed somebody else's button.
Well, that's okay then. Well, what I want to say, when I was a little girl, I used to go to the movies. My mother-in-law used to go to nowhere too much, back then.
Uh-huh.
And which I'm glad she did because it made me be the lady I am today.
Right.
And I appreciate my mom. But I used to crack up when I used to go to the movies to see Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Oh, yeah. When they first came out, that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Just to see, and sometimes I just look at him and think how he used to act and get himself and his body and all different kind of shape. It just cracks me up.
Yeah.
And I tell you two others I like to listen to. Jerry Crowell. Now, he is really fun. Bill Cosby, just see him walk across the stage, I just begin to laugh right then.
Yep.
But there's something funny about them, and this really just make me feel good on the inside.
There's another one, talking about Bill Cosby, who can just sit down in a chair and tell stories and have me in stitches.
Me too.
Yeah. And I don't know how much of that's rehearsed, but it looked to me like he's just sitting there thinking of funny stuff and saying it.
That's true. That is so true. And I like good, clean things like that.
Yeah.
Not no verbal language, just good, clean things to listen to. And, I just enjoy that.
Well, I do, too, and I'm glad you called, my friend.
Well, thank you. You have a good day.
You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Air Trent Airlines, gang, it is something else. 1-800-572-8255, Winder, Georgia, and Buddy at WIMO. Hello, my friend.
Hello there. I was going to say something cute, but the amoeba thing threw me off.
Broke your timing?
That just tore me up worse than a bicycle. Oh, well, you talk about comedians. You were mentioning earlier about people who were spontaneous, and they mentioned Jonathan Winters. Another one was Tim Conway.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever see him on the Carol Burnett thing?
Oh, I still watch that.
Oh, I love to watch the reruns of that thing because they'll get just a little bit cracked up and get a little bit out of character, and he'll just run with it.
Oh, when
I've seen several routines just go completely off the set because he was making this stuff up as he went.
And he had Harvey Korman in the palm of his hand.
Oh, yeah.
He would break him up every time.
Yeah. But my all-time favorite, I mean, the favoritist of all the favorites is Red Skelton.
Red Skelton. What kind of... You mentioned the world's favorite, I guess.
Oh, yeah. He was a great one.
You take care of yourself,
all right.
buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Good to talk to you.
Okay.
1-800-572-8255. Who makes you laugh and who doesn't? And that's just big a mystery now as it was when we started and will remain so. There's no way to tell why somebody's funny to one person and not to another. It's a matter of a sense of humor, I guess. Maybe it's identification. I don't know what it is. But we all have it. Let's talk about your favorites or your least favorites right here on the Fun Seekers Radio Network.
Where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Georgia. Al on the radio. Good morning, Al.
Good morning.
How you doing, pal?
Fine, sir.
Good.
I have two names to write. The worst comic of all time to me is George Carlin.
George Carlin, okay.
And one of my old favorites is Godfrey Cambridge. That used to be on TV a long time ago.
Godfrey Cambridge.
Yep.
Yeah. Godfrey Cambridge was a very close friend of mine.
Oh, I did not know that.
Used to talk to God. He was a very lonely kind of guy.
Right. He had all kinds of problems, I understand.
Yeah, and he would get off someplace doing dinner theater and be off be waiting to go on or something, and he'd call me from all over the country. Good guy, a guy you would have really liked personally, a decent human being.
And a very funny man.
Very funny man.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bud, call us again.
Yep.
Take care. Let's go to Spartanburg and talk to the rare breed. Hello, young lady.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
And, Don Rickles to me is a crack up. I mean, he is just so naturally funny.
Yeah, I think when he is hot, he's very good.
He's hot.
Yeah.
The week that Frank Sinatra passed, they showed some reruns on some of the cable programs over around 34 in that area, and they showed some reruns of Johnny Carson. And he and Frank Sinatra and several others was on there, and they were talking, and must have been back in the 80s. And he kept saying things, He jumped up twice, just fast as he could, kissed Frank Sinatra right in the mouth. Frank, he drew back to hit him, and before he could get it out of his fist back, he'd done popped him in the mouth again, that big old fat mouth of his.
That's funny.
Oh, I tell you, and they showed some real good stuff.
Sinatra over the years got a lot of publicity about skirmishes with people, and that was Rickles' favorite line when he would see Sinatra in the audience. He would say, "Don't just sit there, Frank, hit somebody."
That was so cute when he kissed him twice, not once, but twice, right in the mouth.
Can you imagine?
Imagine that big old mouth down on top of anybody.
That's funny.
I think less funny people are. I know one person that if you get hurt or you hit your head on something, they think it's funny.
Yeah.
And I hate it when people laugh at you if you get hurt.
Oh, yeah, fall down? That's nothing very funny about that.
No. Or if you tell somebody something and they laugh and it's not a bit more funny. Like they had this 600-pound woman on Jerry Springer's program. And I was telling somebody about it, and she got up. She didn't have I guess she couldn't get any underwear to fit her. And she got up and turned around and
pulled her dress up and showed all that stuff right on the camera, and it was pitiful.
Yeah, that ain't very funny.
No.
That ain't very funny.
And
600.
you know, he's really got to the pits.
Yeah.
He had people on there married to their pets, the horse and the dog.
I can't hardly stand it.
I said, that's just the pit.
That is the pitch.
I swear I don't watch it.
You take care of yourself.
Have a good one.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye-bye. Married to your pets. Choo man from Dallas, Georgia. Hello, Choo.
Hello, Ludlow.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, and that's funny.
Good.
I'm sorry I missed that Jerry Springer show.
Well, there was a lot of publicity about that. A lot of stations didn't show that.
And they showed the whole thing. That's a lot, 600 pounds.
That's a big lady.
Luddy, talking about funny people. Now, if you had to pick your funniest, two of them that we've talked about before that I think that I wouldn't mind just sitting in a theater and watching for 3 solid hours.
Yeah.
And that would take some doings to do that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And to laugh for 3 hours. But Leon Earls, you talked about him yesterday.
Yeah.
He would have to be one of them because he had the silent movies along with Red Skelton. You know, they had this little silent sketch. You was talking about they didn't have to say nothing.
It's just funny to watch, yeah.
But Red Skelton had that, and also Leon Earls did that too.
Oh, yeah.
Just a silent, about, I don't know how many minutes of silence it was, but you could just sit and laugh, and they wouldn't be saying nothing.
I recall a scene one time with Leon Earl where he was trying to fold a folding chair out, one of these chairs on the patio.
Yeah.
And he got all tangled up in that thing, and it went 6 or 7 minutes. And it was just absolutely hysterical.
And he didn't say a word.
Not a word was spoken.
But he could be, you know, he could just crack you up, just his expressions. And another time that I remember was they've got a song out about it now. In fact, I think Milton may have a song out about that. The piano, taking the piano out of the room, and with a hoist, and he going up and down.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't even speak as he come by. You know.
Oh yeah.
The first time I ever saw that was Leon Earl.
Really?
In a little sketch.
He was another one of those guys that they did those 15-minute short, what they call short subjects, little comedies, 15 minutes, and he was big in that. He may have been the king of that, and he was always after the young girl and fooling around on his wife and that sort of thing. Got into awful predicaments. Funny man.
It would have to range in there between him and Red Skelton, I guess, for the funniest of all time. Now, of course, there's so many funny ones, it'd be hard, but I think I could watch them for, say, like 3 hours and not move.
All right. Well, you're a real fan.
Oh, yeah.
You're a real fan. Yeah. I got to go, buddy.
This is a good show today. I'm enjoying it, buddy.
Good to talk to you.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Hey, AirTran, the airline that's turning air travel you can afford into air travel you can actually enjoy. They've announced another brand new location just this past week, Atlanta to Hartford, Connecticut. Hugh, good morning, Hugh.
Yeah, more than one for Gadsden, Alabama.
How you doing?
I won now. Maybe I'm out of the loop or something, but Carol's up. Roseanne Barr has never impressed me as being funny.
No, me either. I don't know what it is, but I can't stand to see her.
I wasn't impressed with Seinfeld either.
I've never seen. I never saw much of the Seinfeld things enough to comment on it, except that he drove America crazy.
It evidently had something going.
Loved it.
I like Carol Burnett. You know, it might be kind of passe, but I like her. I liked her humor and Harvey Corbin and like Tim Conway. You know that bunch.
Yeah, great assembled cast. Wonderful people.
And Lucille Ball, you know, had a good streak of comedy, and her did she?
Yeah, a lot of that got kind of old to me. I guess I watched too much of it, but as I go back and look at it, I do find some humor in I Love Lucy.
You can see humor there, yeah. Anyway, Roseanne's just not my cup of tea.
No, mine either.
That's fine.
I know you were glad to hear she'd gone back to her husband.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
I knew you'd be tickled about that.
Did she sing a Star Spangled Banner one time or no?
Well, that's what she thought. She really thought that was funny, the way she did all of that.
Well, funny, all right, wasn't it?
Left me cold.
Oh, me too.
You be good. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Is the sunshine up in Georgia?
Yeah, beautiful here today.
It is down. It's always beautiful in Gadsden.
And no question about that. Round the clock, 365 days a year.
That's right.
Talk to you, buddy.
Okay, have a good one.
Bye-bye. Visit Colonel Pooh's Barbecue in East Ellijay, Georgia, and see the world-famous Pig Hill of Fame. Ashville, North Carolina, and Charlie on the radio. Hello, Charlie.
Good morning, Luddy.
How you doing?
Thank you for taking my call.
Indeed.
I'm enjoying this program.
Good.
Lewis, I've got all his books. I went out and bought my first one when I saw him on the Johnny Carson show.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. But I tell you who I really strikes my funny bone and makes me laugh.
Who is that?
Mark Russell. He's on PBS.
Yeah.
And he was on last night, and I'm still laughing today.
Always funny.
Always.
Never disappoints you. Yeah, I like him too.
Current events.
All right.
No, I mean, he talks about current events.
Oh, yeah.
Sheriff Crabapple.
Oh, kills me.
He's funny. I wish he'd call in every day.
Kill me too.
Okay, Luddy.
All right, but good to talk to you.
Right.
Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255, Greenville, South Carolina, and my buddy, Pennsylvania Vince. Hello, Vincent.
This is Pennsylvania Vince, the funniest guy on radio.
Absolutely.
See, you got to have a lot of confidence in yourself.
That's right.
And everything has to be just exactly right when you do humor and comedy, because if something goes wrong, it'll wreck your whole career.
Mm-hmm.
I got a trivia question concerning that. Who was the man that when the telephone rang, he lost his cool and wrecked his whole career?
Shelley Berman.
Yep, that was the guy.
Yep. I interviewed Shelley Berman one time, and you could sit across the table from Shelley Berman asking him questions, and you'd look into his eyes, and you know, here's a guy that would love to give a problem to a head waiter, would love to make demands on a flight attendant. Just not a very nice person.
Specialized in making other people miserable.
Not a nice person.
Did you remember, oh, no doubt you do, Fred Allen?
Oh, yeah.
Now, when he switched from radio to TV, he kind of disappeared.
Never worked for him, did it? Isn't that strange?
Well, I think it was because he himself run the show kind of hard-nosed, and he wasn't really funny all himself, but his production was tremendous.
Yeah, he tried a number of things on television, including some game shows.
Yeah.
And it just never worked for him.
He made Allen's Alley out of nothing, and it went for a long time. Every time it was on, it was real good.
And people would argue that that's one of the funniest things ever on radio.
Yeah. May I say something about Bill Cosby?
Sure.
First half his career, I really liked him. But then something happened later on. Now, for instance, what's going currently now with Bill Cosby, with the children's Say Funny Things.
Yeah.
Now, it's not Bill's fault. He has a good show, but it's the mechanics of the show. They bring in that burst of laughter real quickly right after the child speaks that you almost miss what they said. And it covers up the humor part of it because it takes a little while sometimes for that to sink in. It's a case of timing is everything.
Yeah, I have I watched that, and it doesn't work.
It's the mechanics of the burst of laughter and the audience applause real loud, and then they bring it on too quick. Everything's jammed in there together real fast. And it's too fast for the audience to absorb it in a way that you enjoy it. At least that's what I thought.
I think it's probably not his cup of tea, because a lot of things he does so well, better than anybody else, but that's not one of them.
No, you mentioned about My Word. That's a half-hour radio show.
Right.
And there's also one goes with that called My Music. Same gang does that.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that one.
That's a good one.
I'm anxious to hear it.
British humor is always good, but it's real slow. Their timing is slower than it should be sometimes.
Well, maybe for the American taste, but I just love the subtleties involved in that and the great use of the language.
Oh, yeah, you learn things on there.
Yep.
Your vocabulary increases when you listen to my words.
Yeah. Plus, it's funny. I think it's very, very funny.
And I want to emphasize this again, that every little factor and detail in a program, when you're in front of an audience, the audience even has to be in the mood for this, or it isn't going to work. You know, everything has to work just right. The timing and the lighting, or if somebody rings the telephone, it'll wreck the whole show.
Yep, and it did with shit. Well, it wasn't the telephone ringing, it was his reaction to it, throwing things backstage and going nuts. Because he thought he was a lot bigger star than he was, in my opinion.
Most of us are like that.
You take care, pal.
Okay, thanks.
Talk to you soon. Let's go back to Gadsden. Talk to Roger. Hello, Raj.
Good morning, buddy.
How you, bud?
Great.
Good.
I always enjoyed the Kingfish and the Black Attorney on Amos Mandy.
You're talking about Algonquin J. Calhoun.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the funniest characters ever on radio.
They used to crack me up. Also, Foster Brooks would strike my fancy.
Yep, Foster Brooks, very, very funny man. And we don't see much of him anymore.
No, don't. And, of course, there was Dave Gardner.
Yep.
Years ago. And year annexed with Radio Ray. A lot of times I got a big kick out of in some of y'all's conversation.
Thank you.
And Jim Stafford and Roger Miller in the music field.
Oh, Roger Miller. Roger Miller was another magician with words. What a funny, talented man he was.
Right. Of course, my favorites always was Reg Skelton and Tim Conway.
All right. Listen, we got a bad connection. I'm going to let you go, buddy.
Okay.
Take care.
Have a great day.
Okay, call us again.
Bye.
1-960, the new WRFC. All right, LaGrange, Georgia. And my friend Kent on the radio. Hello, Kent.
Good morning.
How you doing, bud?
Oh, doing fine.
Good.
Haven't caught everything this morning, but I haven't heard it. At his peak, Flip Wilson.
Yeah, we mentioned him kind of in passing. I think you're exactly right. He, he made Geraldine actually one of the stars of that show. And what an incredibly talented guy. And they're doing the reruns now, thank goodness. We get to enjoy Flip Wilson again. I really always was a fan of his.
Well, one of the greatest shows I ever saw was by accident. I was living in Chicago, and Flip Wilson was at Mr. Kelly's. And across the street or down the street, you had the Playboy Club, who at that time, they took the people that were on their way to being a star, or the people that were just a little bit beyond.
Yeah.
But they had Jack Jones over there, and do you remember the guy that cut the record about the kid going to camp? Hello, Mudder, hello, Fodder.
Alan Sherman.
Alan Sherman.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they had a 2 a.m. late show at Mr. Kelly's. And my wife and I went to that show. But when that show was over, it was like 3 a.m. or something, Alan Sherman and Jack Jones had came over to catch Flip Wilson, and they were in the audience. And when the show was over, they turned up the lights, and he got Alan Sherman and Jack Jones up there on the stage with him. And we sat there for an hour and a half and totally just cracked up. I mean, you know, the regular show was over.
Yeah, this was kind of a bonus for you, wasn't it?
Right, just an impromptu thing. But Jack Jones can be a very funny guy, too, I'll tell you.
And a fine, fine singer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, good singer.
Yeah, and a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly into good-looking guys.
I understand.
But, at that time, this was, like I say, mid-'60s. All right, my man, I'll let you go.
All right, buddy, you take care of yourself.
Thank you now.
Talk to you. 1-800-572-8255. Alan Sherman was the guy. In case you're wondering who did Hello Mudda, Hello Fada, Here I Am at Camp Granada. Big hit record, and this guy had been a television director and producer for a long, long time. And I don't know if he did this as a gag or what, but it really worked for him. Sold a bunch of stuff. Albany, Georgia, my friend Bob.
Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, buddy.
I didn't know I was going to get in before the news or not, but I was thinking about whatever happened to Vaughn Meter after Jack Kennedy died.
Every once in a while, you'll hear something about Vaughn Meter. That just absolutely, he had based his career on
Kennedy,
on his ability to sound like President Kennedy and making fun of things at the White House and that sort of thing, and had that record. I don't know how many he sold, called The First Family.
Right.
He just kind of drifted out of sight. There's just nothing much left for him to do. He could no longer, obviously, with the tragic assassination of John Kennedy, he was just out of work.
Right. Another one that I thought of, and I'm not sure that I may have mentioned this in times passing, because anybody mentioned Victor Borge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was. I have a couple of his albums. I still enjoy listening to those, and also the Donna Michi, Francis Langford, Bickerson's albums.
Bickerson's, yeah. Victor Borge, always one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. He never did play the piano a whole lot, but it's just that I think his comedy was more than his music was.
Yeah, and I think he sensed that that's the reason people were there, to laugh, not to hear him play.
And I mentioned once about, and you have, maybe Denny has it somewhere, French, Anna Russell takes off on the operatic types of music.
Okay.
She has an album called Anna Russell Sings. I believe that's it. You might want to have some fun with that one. But other than that, I'm sure there are other things I could think of, but I know time's running out.
Okay, bud.
Have a good day.
I'm glad you called. You take care of yourself.
Right.
Bye-bye. Let's talk to Richard in Gadsden. Hello, Richard.
Yeah.
How you doing, bud?
All right, how you doing?
Doing good.
Two or three things to throw at you. The funny stuff ensemble piece of people like Frasier, the show Frasier.
Yeah.
You know, this great ensemble there is cerebral humor, and there's even a little physical comedy mixed in with it.
Yeah.
But Are You Being Served, the British comedy. You know, some guy was talking a while ago about bad timing on British comedy. It's great. It's great timing on that. I don't know if you've ever seen that one or not.
I think it is great. I think the British have the great timing. It's just different timing than what we're used to with our rapid-fire stand-up people.
Yeah, that's true. That may be true, but it's really good stuff. And if you can get on your local public television, I mean, it's great.
I've been trying to catch it, and I think it's on a Sunday. Is that right?
Well, I'm not sure where you are. Here in Alabama, it's on at 9 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah, I want to catch that because that's my kind of stuff, and
yeah.
I'm sure I would enjoy
Good
it.
stuff. But I want to tell you about a one-man ensemble. I haven't heard anybody address this.
All right.
But a guy that used to do, he's known more for his voice than his face, Mel Blanc.
Oh, yeah.
He's a one-man ensemble.
Oh, yeah.
The Looney Tunes in the 1940s and 1950s. You got a great mixture of the physical comedy that the kids get a big kick out of. But if you listen to it and watch it, there's really some good cerebral humor that even adults can enjoy.
Great band.
And I've watched it from the time I was a tot to where I am today, you know, fully grown and everything else. And I sit there with my own kids today, and I laugh every time I watch it.
That's a real test. Does it stand up? And apparently that does. I got to get out of here, buddy.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
All right, bye-bye.
1-800-572-8255. More right after this.
Dearest father, darling mother, how's my precious little brother? Let me come home if you miss me. I would even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Wait a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better.
Celebrating 50 years of service to Northeast Georgia. We're News Radio 960. WRFC. Athens.
This is the Ludlow Porch Show on the Fun Seekers Radio Network, brought to you in part by the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association, by Comfort Maker Heating and Air Conditioning, and by McKinney Front. The toll-free lines are now open at 1-800-572-TALK. That's 1-800-572. And now, here's Ludlow Porch.
Well, good morning again, Fun Seekers. Hope you're having a great day as we head right on through the week. Ludlow and Denny. And we've been talking about the people who make you laugh. And why. And what different things you find funny or amusing. Or sometimes it's enough if you hear somebody just to sit there and get warm and fuzzy feelings and lightly chuckle. You don't have to be on the floor to have enjoyed a comedian or a lot of those out there. Just give us kind of a warm feeling. And we'll talk about those, the people who make you laugh and the people who don't. And what turns you off with a humorist or a comedian? What gets you? And you say, I can't take any more of that. And lots more. 1-800-572-8255. Taylor, South Carolina. And Earl. Hello, Earl. Hello, Ludley. How you doing, big boy? Hey, I really, as I told Denny, I really enjoyed stumbling my way back down Giggles Lane this morning with you. And I haven't heard all of it, so if I'm being redundant here, I apologize. That's all right. Anyone bring up a guy named Jackie Vernon? Used to really like Jackie Vernon. Big guy. Yeah. Did dull jokes. Yeah. Yeah. Had the little bit with the clicker. Funny, yeah. Did you ever see that guy live? No, I never saw him live. He is huge. I mean, to me, he just looked like a little short, fat guy on TV. Yeah. This guy's, he had to weigh, I don't know, 350 pounds, I guess. He's about 6'3" or 4. He's big as I am. I saw him in New Orleans. We were there on a honeymoon quite a few years ago, and had a chance to go back. And I even told him one of the lines that he left out of his routine. The manager was back. He said, "Hey, this guy's good. He knows your stuff better than you do." He died pretty young too, I think. Yeah. I think he was relatively young. But he had unique humor. Yeah. Going back to the golden age of radio, has anyone talked about, can you top this? No, that was very funny. Yeah, tell me something. There was Joe Laurie Jr., Harry Hirschfield. What was the other guy? It was Major or Colonel or something like that. Yeah, it was. What was his name? Boy, that'll come to me. Colonel. You're right, it was Colonel. It was Colonel or Major. It was some kind of rank anyhow. Yeah. I went totally blank. That came back to me. But there were, that is a piece of humor or type of program that I think would really still be funny today if you could get the right comedians to do it. Yeah, and do it clean enough. Yeah, that would be the problem. but yeah, there's very few of them really how to do the good stuff anymore. I hadn't thought of that show in years. You just brought back some memories. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed that. I thought they had some extremely good humor. Someone mentioned Victor Borger. Yeah. My grandfather was a piano tuner by trade. He would not listen to Victor Borger. He said anyone that had the talent and the touch that he did and would not play seriously. When he used to be on every day, brought to you by Kraft macaroni and cheese, Franco-American spaghetti and macaroni and cheese. Yeah. He turned the radio off. He would not listen to that 15-minute segment. Listen, I'm losing you, buddy. You take care of yourself. I'm going to have to run because we about lost contact with you, but we hope you'll call us back. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. Another bright, sunny day, at least at Swanee. And I hope you got some of that rain. It got a half inch in South Georgia last night, according to what they tell me, and that's wonderful. Needed it a lot. AirTran, gang, the airlines that's turning air travel you can afford and the air travel you can actually enjoy. Yes, sirree. Enjoy it and enjoy it a lot. Brand new destination just started this past week. Atlanta to Hartford, Connecticut for just $99 one way with no advance purchase required. But that's for every coach seat on every flight to Hartford through June 17th, 1998. $99 one way. It's a civilized way to save yourself some money. For reservations or any other details, you call AirTran or your travel agent, 770-994-8258. That's AirTran Airlines, gang. It is something else.
Logan's Equipment is mowing down the competition with deals on lawnmowers that have never been lower. They're unloading their inventory, and you get all the benefits if you head to Logan's Equipment today. Just make an offer on the best names around: Troy-Bilt, Yazoo, Dixon, Aaron's, and more. They'll even sell some below cost. There's easy financing, and delivery is available. Your grass isn't going to stop growing, so cut yourself a great deal at Logan's Equipment's Lawnmower Liquidation, 1000 Winterville Road, halfway between the airport and Highway 78 in Athens.
If you're planning a move, make it a good one. I'm Bob Baer, president of Unigroup Incorporated. We own and operate both United Van Lines and Mayflower Transit. And like all reputable movers, we're proud of our service and our profession. So we're concerned when consumers are hurt by unscrupulous firms which don't keep their promises. So when you move, call someone you know, like Mayflower or United, or another member of the American Moving and Storage Association. You'll find you made the right move.
Hi, this is Ludlow Porch, and you're listening to the new WRFC, and that tickles me nearly back. All right, let's go to Murphreesboro, Tennessee, and talk to Deborah. Hello, Deborah.
Today.
I'm good. You okay?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I have to say the best comedian in my short life, because I don't think I'm that old, would have to be Red Skelton.
Okay.
I can remember as a kid watching him on TV, and even at that age, you know, getting a kick out of it.
Yeah.
Because it was, I guess, real. And another one that I absolutely loved was Jack Benny.
Yeah, me too.
And today the comedians, they just don't have that. Not like they did. You know, I mean, and Victor Borg, I liked him also. I guess I liked the music and the comedy.
I thought he was just wonderful. I really mean this, and I think he is probably a fine dramatic actor, and I really like him when he's following a script and doing something.
Mm-hmm.
He is a fine actor.
He's brilliant. I love his interviews because of the fact that he can turn it to a different direction, you know, on a dime.
Yeah.
The interviewer never knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, sometimes I think he goes a little overboard, and he starts to enjoy himself more than I do.
Right.
But for the most part, I agree with what you've said. I think he is the natural heir to Jonathan Winters.
Yeah, I like Jonathan Winters also. And what I just cannot stand the foul mouth ugliness. I've never liked it. It's always turned me off.
It turns me off, too.
Richard Pryor, when he'd get up there and say, oh, F this and this F, you know, and da-da-da-da, I'm like, that's not funny.
No, and after a while, you just want him to hush.
Oh, yeah.
He's too funny to rely on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a very talented guy. Another good actor, incidentally.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need all of that.
No, he sure doesn't. And Martin, I think he's a fairly new one on the scene. I don't watch him because the minute they start that cussing and you know, foulness, I just,
unnecessary and a turnoff to a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember the guy who came along and now he's gone? I don't know what he's doing now. What was his name? Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, yeah.
A guy who would put on a leather jacket, light a cigarette, and just stand there.
Hated him.
Yeah. Oh, that was awful.
Hated him.
Awful.
And I also did not like, he's dead now, Sam Kinison.
The Screamer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you could get by, if you could get by the screaming, he had some good material. But there again, he just got too dirty to.
Well, who could stand there long enough for him to get over his fit to listen to it.
Yeah. You take care of your sweet self.
All righty, you do too.
Good to talk to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. McKinnon's Louisiana Restaurant Gang, great Cajun and Creole food, and I'm going there tonight. Let's go to Newnan, Georgia, and talk to my buddy Tony.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Tony. How you doing?
Doing fine.
Good.
I'll tell you who makes me laugh.
Who is that?
I like you.
Well, thank you.
You do good, and I love every Thanksgiving when you play the turkey neck story. I love that story.
Let me tell you something that points out again. Different things make different people laugh. I got a letter from some very nice people just last week, and they said that they liked everything I did except the turkey neck story.
Well, I'm a minister, and I like the turkey neck story.
Yeah, and you know why? Because we've all been there.
Yeah, oh yeah. We've all got an uncle at least like that.
We have always known that guy. It was a son-in-law in this case, but we've all known that guy.
I always like the Marx Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm really, I have all their movies. If I'm kind of depressed or feeling blue, I can put them on and things get better in no time.
Absolutely right.
And, of course, the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you a question. I just heard this when I first turned on the radio. Are Abbott and Costello actually coming back on, Nick?
Yes.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I hope so. I hope I can watch that thing from a nostalgia standpoint and still laugh at them. Because when I was a child, I thought they were the funniest people ever born.
Oh, they are. And Burns and Allen, I loved her.
Yep, me too.
I like all that older stuff. I'm in my 50s, and I can remember that on TV and stuff when I was a kid. It was great stuff. And have you heard a new guy that's out that well, he's not new, but a guy I just found, real clean, Carl Hurley. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Outstanding. You ought to try. He's out of a little old town. Matter of fact, I lived there when I was a kid. Up in Kentucky, East Bernstadt, Kentucky.
Carl Hurley. I'm writing that down.
David Frymeyer, isn't he the one from Kentucky that you talk to a lot? Dick Frymeyer.
Dick Frymeyer, yeah.
I bet he may even know Carl Hurley. He's done a thing on PBS. He's the guy, one of his best jokes was that he had to lose weight. He knew when he fell down at Ryan's at the food bar, and before he could get up, he said he had done rocked himself to sleep. So he's just real folksy, and but he's Renfro Valley. He's got 2 videos that he's done where he's in Renfro Valley.
I will look those up, and I may even get Frymeyer to talk about him a little bit if he knows him.
Carl Hurley, if you could get him on your show sometime, because he does mainly banquets and Kiwanis meetings and things like that.
I got you.
And I hope I do those too, and I'm hoping one day maybe he and I'll cross paths. I speak for a lot of Kiwanis and JC.
And so do I. Maybe we'll all cross paths.
Hey, I'd like to meet you someday. I got all your books, love every one of them.
Bless your heart.
Your show has a ministry within itself of humor. People need to laugh.
Oh, what a nice thing to say. Thank you.
You're really helping a lot of people who probably never call in. I've always wanted to call in and say, I'm a first-time listener but a long-time caller. But we love you, and you're doing a great job, brother.
Preacher, bless your heart. Come see us.
All righty.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
1-800-572-8255. We'll be right back. Now, you know, when you get to be over 65, you tend to get a little frayed around the edges. You know, cataracts, touch arthritis. Point is, you need to take care of yourself, and you need to be covered, and Medicare simply is not enough. That's why I want you to look into a wonderful plan called 65 Plus from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Georgia. These folks been around for over 60 years, and you can trust them. Listen, all of their 65 Plus plans cover hospitalization and medical expenses with almost no paperwork. You get to choose the doctor of your choice. So there it is, gang, 65 Plus, underwritten by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Georgia, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association. Not expensive, increases your health care coverage, and it's only for residents of Georgia. You call right now for your free information kit. 1-800-533-7671, extension 300. That's 1-800-533-7671, extension 300.
This is a mathematical example, and we don't claim any of our clients have or will achieve these results. Have you been following the El Nino weather phenomenon? Meteorologists are now calling for the worst crop disasters in 150 years. This could impact the soybean and grain markets dramatically. The last major El Nino caused $13 billion in crop damage, and Reuters states this El Nino will be as severe, if not worse, than the last one. Statewide Trading Corporation can show you how a $2 move in soybean prices can return over $30,000 on $5,000. Soybean prices moved over $4 during the last 2 major El Niños. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. People can and do lose money. You must get the research reports now. Call now, 1-800-517-1006. That's 1-800-517-1006. $30,000 on $5,000? Get the charts, graphs, and research reports now. 1-800-517-1006. That's toll-free, 1-800-517-1006.
Hey, you listen to the Ludlow Porch Show weekdays, 10 to noon on News Radio 960, the new WRFC.
Climbing up to heaven, climbing up to heaven, climbing up to heaven, climbing up to heaven. Well, dogs can do a lot of tricks, like playing dead and fetching sticks. I've even heard of dogs that talk and sing. And if you've got you one of those, well, you could brag some, I suppose. But before you do, just let me say one thing. Well, there's a flat-nosed dog from South Carolina, and there ain't one in the world no finer. I tell you, friends, that dog's a sight to see. He don't play dead and he don't fetch sticks, but he can do a miracle trick. And believe it or not, that dog can climb a tree. He's a miracle dog, hallelujah, climbing dog, glory, glory, climbing up to heaven on a log, bound for glory. Precious dog, climbing dog.
Greenwood, Mississippi, and Helen on the radio. Good morning, Helen.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm learning more and more about you since we've started receiving your show, their program in this area. I just this morning figured out the connection between you and Louis Grizzard.
Well, good.
Grizzard. I'm not ever sure how you say it.
You were right the first time. It was Grizzard.
Well, that's what I've always said, but I wasn't ever sure if it was right. My daughter and I have all of his books. We loved them.
Good.
And I knew I had heard your name somewhere before. And I didn't realize you had books of your own, I'm sorry to say.
Well, get yourself out and get some of them.
I'll have to check that out.
Good.
Has anyone talked about Irma Bombeck this morning?
No, but what a funny lady
I
she
loved her dearly. Her family must have been exactly like mine, and if I knew how to write, that's exactly how I would write.
You know, she never, in her mind, she never quit being the housewife with a house full of children.
That's exactly right.
And she captured that, and she remembered, and she didn't take herself too seriously.
We have every one of her books, too.
Oh, great lady.
We just loved her. Louis and Irma both had columns in our state paper, and we looked forward so much to reading those, and now they're gone.
Yeah, and I miss them both more than anything.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to tell you how much I cared about them and to realize that I am finding out some different things about you.
Well, I hope it's all good. You take care of yourself.
So far it is. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, Helen. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Brunswick, Georgia, and I believe Don is on deck. Hello, Don.
Hello, Ludlow.
How you doing, pal?
All right. So I just wanted to make one little statement.
All right.
I'm one of those old fogies. I just don't laugh much at things. But Jack Benny could just break me up. All he had to do is put his hand on his cheek and turn his head.
Me too.
And I would just laugh to death. But what I wanted to mention was somebody else mentioned some of the British shows. And if you haven't seen the one, it's called Keeping Up Appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen a show. I am laughing constantly through that program. I mean, all the way through. It is the funniest show there's ever been.
Well, I got to get tuned into that. That sounds great.
It's this socialite, Hyacinth, and she is keeping up appearances with trying to be Miss Right on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one last comment. I shouldn't say this, but I won't hold it against you being connected to Louis Grizzard.
You take care of yourself.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you soon. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. We're going to talk now to the guy with his hand up. Hello, Granddaddy.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Everything's rolling smooth.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Just growing like a weed.
Yeah.
I need to find some training wheels for a motorcycle.
Well, you're going to have to look around some, but it's high time. How old's that child now?
He's 3 weeks.
Well, no reason he can't be riding a motorcycle.
Well, he can ride now, but he keeps falling over.
Yeah.
I thought if I get him some training wheels, that'd help him out a little.
Well, that's your job as a granddaddy.
Talk to John Boy. I mean, he may have a set around somewhere.
I bet he does.
Speaking of comedians,
Yeah,
Lewis was a very funny man.
a very funny man.
And enjoyed him and miss him a bunch.
Yeah, me too.
Stephen Wright.
He's crazy.
You with him?
Yeah.
He
Love him.
really tickles me.
Yeah, love him.
He just talks about stuff, and it just cracks me up.
I can see how you would enjoy him as much as anybody because y'all both have that strange, twisted sense of humor.
Well, thank you.
You're my pleasure. Because you never know what's coming out of your mouth, and I don't think he does either.
Well, that's true. Steve Martin is another one that's sort of like that.
Yeah, Steve Martin can be very, very funny.
Leslie Nielsen, y'all talked about him yet?
Leslie Nielsen knocks me out.
He's a funny man.
Yeah.
Bob Newhart's along the same line, too.
Love Newhart. Everything he does.
Excuse that. Sorry. Judy Tenuta. I can't stand her.
I'm trying to place Judy Tenuta.
She plays an accordion.
Okay. I haven't seen enough.
Tries to tell jokes. Not very funny.
Got to get out of here.
I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Talk to you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
See ya.
We'll be right back. You stay with us.
Woodward. Ever notice how many things in life happen in a circle? The seasons, revolving credit, hula hoops, the spinning of the circle we call Earth, and recycling. Together, we've already made a difference. Sorting glass, plastic, separating cans, stacking newspapers. Now there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. A paperclip, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. A cereal box, once your Sunday paper. It all goes back to the circle. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
For your free Buy Recycled shopping guide, call 1-800-CALL-EDF. Brought to you by the Ad Council and EDF, the Environmental Defense Fund.
I teach. I sew. I babysit. I'm a cook. I'm 21.
Which of these women should get an HIV test?
I sing.
All of them.
I pay the bills.
In fact, all women who are pregnant or may become pregnant someday soon
I'm a clerk.
should get an HIV test.
I'm a nurse.
With new treatments, more than 90% of babies born to HIV-infected women will be HIV-free. 90%. So take the test.
I vote. I act. I'm a mother. I build.
Talk with your doctor or other healthcare professional. Or for more information, make a free confidential call to 1-800-342-AIDS.
I'm single.
Call anytime, day or night, 7 days a week. Remember, call 1-800-342-2437 and take the test.
I'm 42. I'm a maternal.
A message brought to you by the Pediatric AIDS Foundation and the Ad Council. The American Medical Association supports HIV testing for all pregnant women.
She named me Dale, Darrell, Walter, Richard, Petty, Rusty, Awesome Bill, Urban, Gordon, Earnhardt, Smith, Johnson, Jr. I guess you could say Mama was a NASCAR fan. I was born in Talladega up in the stands. The fans all cheered the second I arrived. The loudspeaker said the boy's born to drive. We didn't have money for a pacifier, so I sucked on the valve off a Goodyear tire. A 7-pound, 8-ounce son of the South, born with a taste for racing in my mouth. She named me Dale, Darrell, Walter, Richard, Petty, Rusty, Awesome Bill, Urban, Gordon, Earnhardt, Smith, Johnson, Jr.
Let's go to Anderson, South Carolina, and talk to Auntie Quated. Hello, Auntie. How you doing?
Well, hello there, Ludlow. How are you?
I'm good.
Got a quote for you.
All right.
Humor and bless this preacher who said what he did. He is so right, and you do have a great ministry, and the Ludlow Show is one of the best.
Thank you.
Okay, here's my quote. Humor is God's grace in 3/4 time. And I believe that was on my heart. Okay, here's another.
Well said, well said.
Here's another one. Humor or despair, put a colon there. It's a choice.
Okay.
And sometimes it is. You know, Irma Bombeck said one time somebody asked her, what did you do before you started doing all this writing? And she said, oh, mainly I stayed over sitting in the corner and I hummed a lot. But I do believe those things.
What a talent, yeah.
And I think like all of your people have talked about, I want to thank the nice lady who sent me postcards from Scotland. I had sent my name and address.
Oh, yeah.
I really do appreciate that.
I mean, did you just get one?
No, I got 3.
Okay.
And I had her name down, but I'm not sure she wants me to say that.
Okay.
So thank her so much.
I will.
I really appreciate that. And Ludlow, I hope this isn't too heavy for a humorous program, but I think it's really important. My brother is in a hospice in Washington State, and we thought for a long time he's very near the end. It's kind of like Elizabeth, I'm coming sometimes, you know. But he's been very sick, and everybody sends these heavy type greetings. And it's true, people need spiritual things. But I finally got the chance to talk to his, the chaplain. It's a female minister. And she said, oh, he's doing really well. And said he still has that wicked sense of humor. And I said, would he like a joke now and then? And she said, oh, yes. She said, everybody's always sending real deep, heavy thoughts.
Yeah.
And so, I've told you about my dog Sharpie before. Sharpie dog.
Yeah.
I'm sending him Sharpie grams by fax. We can send them, and they receive them 10 minutes later.
Oh, that's neat.
And I'm trying to find a good joke to send about 2 or 3 times a week.
Good for you.
And he loves them.
Good for you.
And I wanted to mention that to your listeners. People who are seriously ill, lots of times really do appreciate something funny,
and they
believe it or not.
And they need something.
And nobody thinks they do.
They need somebody. You're right.
And to this day, I'm the only person who's talking to that chaplain. I mean, the rest of them really care.
Yeah.
But I think I had to be a little crazy along the same line he's crazy.
Well, you came from the same background, and I expect you got the same sense of humor.
Yeah, and I really think this lighter touch does help people lots of times, and I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, no question. No question. You take care. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1-800-572-8255. No, we can't send him that joke, Denny. Albany, Georgia, and Larry on the radio. Hello, Larry.
Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, old friend. How you doing?
Oh, we're just kicking around out here.
Good.
My favorite pastime comedian would be Bob Hope.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a real kick out of, I can tell what kind of television a lot of your listeners is watching now. But if you go to your modern day comics, I really like old Mark Lowry. He's with the Bill Gaither band on the Gaither videos.
Yeah.
He is a riot. And if you ever get a chance to see him, you want to go see him.
I will. Mark Lowry, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's one of gospel music's best at comics.
All right. And there been some good ones come out of those ranks.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years.
He's a trip.
You take care of yourself.
I appreciate it.
Good to talk to you, bud.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Madison, Georgia, and talk to the extremely talented Radio Ray. Hello, big boy.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing?
Doing great this morning.
Good.
Yeah, I've been just sitting here laughing with all of the names that's been called out today.
Brought back some memories, did they?
Yeah, it did.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Well, let me give you a list of some of my people that make me just laugh, just make me just want to giggle all day long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder who was responsible for that.
Yeah. First of all, of course, Don Knotts. Barney Five.
Yeah.
I cannot pass him by. Also, Tim Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
He just cracks me up.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And also Jeff Foxworthy.
Yep.
Just cracks me up. And, of course, all of the wackos who are on the show, and the ones who don't make me laugh, at least it make me giggle.
Well, you know, sometimes you don't need the belly laugh.
I know.
Sometimes just the knowing smile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, matter of fact, you see me smiling right now?
Yeah, I can almost feel the electricity.
See, I always like to try to give a smile to everybody I can.
Well, that's good.
Even to all of the wackos, too.
That's your mission in life.
Yeah, exactly.
To bring joy and happiness.
Exactly.
You don't have to do what you do, spend all your time in bars and nightclubs and looking for women. You can the other people out there who need to benefit from your sense of humor.
And I know.
Your lightning like wit.
Well, hey, thank you for saying that. So maybe I just may change my ways.
Yeah, put the whiskey down. Forget about the women.
And just make people laugh, huh?
Yeah.
So you think I ought to do that?
Yeah,
because see, now I know one they're starting to call me Sugar Toes now.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I'm so sweet and make them laugh.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
See how much made you laugh there.
Well, here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
I want you to come up with a good joke. A clean, but not this minute.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to put you under that kind of pressure.
Okay, no.
But and after you get to find this joke, call us. We will be interested in the progress that you're making toward bringing laughter to the world.
Well, hey, I will work on that.
Do that.
Okay, and also, I definitely want to thank you for putting a big smile on my face, too.
All right.
Because you and all of the wackos do that. Y'all really do a great job.
You're a great American and a credit to your mama and daddy.
And something I never told you before, Big Denny also makes me laugh sometimes, too. Yeah.
Here's something I've never told you before. If you ever call back here, I'll kill you.
Have a great day.
Be good.
Okay, bye.
Listen, don't forget tomorrow the joke.
Okay, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
That soon? You gonna put me on
that? You can listen. You're a funny guy. You can learn a joke by then.
Okay.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Okay, bye.
Bye. 1-800-572-825. If you have any shortest, Denny's got a beautiful new joke that you ain't gonna have no idea what he's talking about because you're too nice a person. More conversation right after this.
Yes, you all recognize Take Me Out to the Ball Game from baseball's musical legacy, and it's just one of many musical masterpieces you'll receive absolutely free just for coming to a Braves game. This audio avalanche is not available in any store, so call Ticketmaster at 404-249-6400 or 800-326-4000 or buy tickets at Turner Field. Remember, you get baseball's musical legacy plus the greatest baseball team of the 90s just for buying Braves tickets now. Call today.
You don't have to drag Black Bart into town to collect your reward because Comfort Maker Comfort Rewards from your participating dealer will net you a 5-year extended parts and labor warranty for free when you buy a qualified Comfort Maker heating and cooling system. Claim your reward at H&H Mechanical, 770-941-5149. Regular maintenance checks not included. Comfort Maker Comfort Rewards. Claim yours today.
Casting with Carl, your weekly guide to the lakes, rivers, and streams of Northeast Georgia and beyond. On News Radio 960 WRFC.
Local ponds are muddy right now. Fishing well, though. Went out last Wednesday and caught probably 20 or 30 fish between about 4 of us.
Casting with Carl, sponsored by Athens Fly Fishing, 651 West Broad Street, your local specialty fly shop. Saturday morning at 7:30 on News Radio 960 WRFC.
Want to have fun, get some exercise, and raise money for charity? Hi, this is Matt Stinchcomb of the Georgia Bulldogs. Saturday, June 6th is the date for the first annual Heroes to the Hedges 5K Run, Walk, and 1 Mile Fun Run. Proceeds benefit Athens-Clarke County DARE, the Athens Wilderness Program, and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Athens-Clarke County. Heroes to the Hedges is sponsored in part by the UGA Athletic Association, Publix Supermarkets, and Smoothie King. For more information, please call 353-3329.
Hi, gang. This is Ludlow Porch, and if you're not listening to the Fun Seekers Network, just see what you're missing. Join me weekdays 10 to noon on News Radio 960, the new WRFC. All right, glad we had this time together. Dublin, Georgia. And Thomas on his car phone. Good morning, Thomas.
Yes, I really wanted to talk to you to hold this long.
I know you did, and I appreciate it, buddy.
I detest any comedian using vulgarity.
Well, you got a lot of them you detest, don't you?
Yes, sir. But Red Skelton was probably my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
And I did also want to echo what a caller told you a few minutes ago about Carl Hurley. On a tour, the tour bus director had some of his audio tapes that he played that were hilarious, and they were clean.
Mm-hmm.
He picked them up at the Renfro Valley Barn Dance on one of his other trips.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
Well, I want to get some of his stuff. If he's that funny, I need to know about him.
Well, that's where he picked those up. That's where he obtained them. I don't know where the guy operates out of. He's somewhere in Kentucky,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, we got some great Kentucky connection. We'll find him.
And I also enjoy your comedy.
Thank you.
I like to listen to you. And you have a good day here.
Okay, my friend. I'm glad you called.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Bye.
Let's go to Eli, Kentucky, and talk to Willie. Hello, Willie.
Hello there, Ludlow.
How are you, partner?
All right.
Good.
You've been talking about that Carl Hurley. I wanted to tell you one of his clean little jokes.
Okay.
He don't tell no dirty one.
All right.
One time he walked down over the hill to the corner grocery store. It's trading day. So he traded for 2 pigs, a chicken, and a wash tub. On his way back up the hill, this girl caught up with him. And she walked along with him, and she said, "Maybe I ought to walk with you. Said, you might try to kiss me." And Carl looked over at her, and he said, "I don't know how I can kiss you. I got these 2 pigs under one arm. I got this chicken and wash tub under the other arm. There ain't no way I can kiss you." She said, "Well, you could put those 2 pigs under the wash tub, and I'll hold that danged old chicken." And that's the type of jokes he tells.
That's funny. I'll be all the help I can here. That's so funny.
Let me tell you what happened to Denny one time, and I'll get off here.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, when Denny first got married, why, he went in home one night. His wife didn't have supper on the table. Boy, he raked her up one side and down the other. And about 2 weeks later, Denny seen his wife again. He finally prized his left eye open enough that he could see her. I hope Denny's listening.
Denny's always listening. You take care of yourself. Good to talk to you.
So we'll talk to you later.
Hang in there, big boy.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Somerset, Kentucky, and talk to my buddy Nolan. Hello, big boy.
Hey, Ludlow, how are you?
I'm great. You okay?
I'm great. I'm so glad somebody mentioned one of our treasures, Carl Hurley.
Yeah.
And I hope you all will meet someday because you have a lot in common sense of humor-wise.
Yeah, well, I sure would look forward to that time.
He was a former professor at college near Richmond, or in Richmond, and had been told by many, many people that he ought to take his act on the road, and so one day he just did, and has never looked back.
Well, that's great.
Has anybody, speaking of comedy teams, has anybody mentioned Laurel and Hardy?
Yeah, you know what I think? I think Laurel and Hardy kind of set the standard.
I do too. I really do, and I know you know that Oliver Hardy is a Georgia boy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in Harlem, Georgia, that indicates that was his birthplace?
They tell me that his old house is there, although it's nothing official about it except it was that he lived there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Seems to me there ought to be something in the town square.
Well, you're talking about a guy who had a huge impact on show business for many, many years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that a monument would not be out of place at all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and of course, everything I've read, Stan Laurel was the motivator. Ollie liked to play golf, and he would come in and say the words and go out and to the golf course, and Stan Laurel would stay back and edit the film and would be the person that would keep it going. Would it be just opposite with Abbott and Costello? I'm speaking of the team.
I think Costello had the ambition and the drive, and I think Abbott was the business guy involved in that. Although you hear different versions, you read a book by one person, it's altogether different. Some of them paint Costello as a little monster, and then you read another one about what a sweet, loving, caring daddy he was. So hard to tell. I mean, as you know, show people are just like the rest of us. You got your princes and you got your frogs.
Sure.
And I've met some that I just soon not.
Oh yeah. Well, I think Stan Laurel. It was interesting. His daughter. You were speaking of family.
Mm-hmm.
Was. For years would not get anywhere near Oliver Hardy because she had seen him hurt her daddy in a film.
Yeah. He
he made some boxes fall on him or did something like that.
I read a good book about that. Stan Laurel was a drinker, and a heavy drinker, and that was a problem. But they loved each other so much they were genuinely friends.
Oh yeah. And it showed. Didn't
it? It really did.
And Stan had a weakness for the ladies too. I think he had several wives.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He enjoyed his nightlife. He came out of that the British vaudeville and was just a funny man and could do more with a facial expression. If there was ever a comedian born to be in silent movies, it was Stan Laurel.
They did some things too that would have worked on radio. Where they used sound but they were out of sight.
Yeah.
Remember how they would do that?
Yeah.
There was one kind of tragic scene that this fellow was very depressed and went off into another room and with a gun, and disappeared. It was obvious what he was going to do, but you heard a gunshot. 6 seconds later, you heard another one.
He missed. Do you remember the movie they were in about the French Foreign Legion?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Where he did the takeoff on Harpo Marx, where he picked up the bed springs and started playing his beautiful music coming out of these bed springs.
Absolutely.
And he was deadpan the whole time. Just absolute geniuses.
And Ollie looked at him like, what?
Like he was a roach.
What could I say? Yeah. But maybe some of the listeners near and around Harlem can give us some information on that and as to whether or not he's being recognized properly.
Yeah, I would like to know that. And if he's not, we ought to do something about it.
That's right. He's one of our treasures in Georgia.
Absolutely. You take care of yourself, old friend.
You too. See you soon.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
1-800-572-8255. More right after this.
What's the difference between Cajun and Creole cooking? Well, simply put, Cajun food is more down-to-earth local ingredients aggressively seasoned, and Creole is more of an uptown New Orleans fare. But what they have in common is that McKinnon's Louisiana restaurant cannot be beat when it comes to proper preparation and presentation. Enjoy quiet, white tablecloth dining or the more casual usual McKinnon's Grill Room. When you're in Atlanta, Georgia, the best Cajun and Creole cooking is at McKinnon's Louisiana Restaurant, Maple Drive at Peachtree Road.
Violent person, you've never even held a grudge. Yet the act of killing the millions of foul germs running rampant on your... Well, smile. You merely brush with Listerine toothpaste and you've killed millions of germs. You feel like Frederick the Great. Your teeth are safe, secure, protected from foul germs. You swagger. You didn't even know you could swagger.
Listerine toothpaste. Teeth.
We often see a picture of Rodin's famous statue of a naked man sitting on a big rock in deep thought. What is he thinking? Possibly he's contemplating another type of rock that would enhance his thought process, or a faster chip. The Stone Store between Watkinsville and Athens on Highway 441. The Stone Store, the best thought processor rocks in the business.
How would you like to pay 5 cents for long-distance calls? Not kidding, we're talking a nickel here. Net2Phone is an innovative service that allows you to make long-distance calls for as little as 5 cents per minute to anywhere in the U.S. and saves you up to 95% off those costly international rates. With Net2Phone, you don't need to wait till Sunday or set your alarm clock for 4 a.m. or do any other stupid things the other companies make you do to take advantage of the great rate. It's as low as 5 cents per minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no tricks. And it's yours now by calling toll-free 1-800-787-1512. The rates are so great because Net2Phone routes your call over the internet. That doesn't mean you need a computer or a PhD in astrophysics. All you need is a regular telephone and an access code. Net2Phone means long-distance calls without the long-distance rates or hassle. Remember, 5 cents. Try to beat that. And they'll never call you during dinner. As a matter of fact, they won't call you at all. Call toll-free 800-787-1512. That's 1-800-787-1512. Net2Phone is a subsidiary of IDT. Rates may vary depending on location. 5-cent rate available in most metro areas and to IDT long-distance customers only.
For a down-home good time, join me, Ludlow Porch, weekdays 10 to noon on News Radio 960, the new WRFC. 1-800-572-8255, Murphreesboro, Tennessee, and Deborah on the radio. Hi, Deborah.
Hello. I'm not trying to hog the airwaves, trust me.
Oh, no.
But here's somebody I haven't heard anybody talk about. That's Phyllis Diller.
Oh, very funny woman.
Yes, hilarious.
Very, very funny.
I have, in fact, she inspired me so much. When I was a kid, I just could never get enough attention. And so I just imitate her.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I can remember performing a skit of me imitating her for my parents' company down in our basement, and they were just cracking up. They just thought that was so hilarious.
How old were you?
Oh, God, I think I was 9 years old.
And the talent already emerging.
Well, I've had a lot of people say to me, you know, you really need to go down to Nashville and do that amateur night or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'd do exactly for material.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
What you have to do is write it, be satisfied with it, try it out on some local clubs, and when you're sure you got it, then get on the next bus to Nashville.
Okay. Well, I can always just drive up there.
I gotta run. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, Ludlow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
For details on the 65-plus plan from the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, make a simple telephone call, 1-800-533-7671, extension 300. That's Virgil in Dublin. We've got just a minute, Virgil. How you doing?
Okay, doing fine. I'll just make it real short. I go through Harlem quite often, and as you go into town from any particular route in town, there are signs that proclaim the birthplace of Oliver Hardy with a small picture of he and Stan Laurel, and then there's a big mural on one wall that is painted there right in the center of town.
Oh, that's good.
With both the pictures and the names and all, and the birthplace, et cetera, et cetera. I just thought I'd bring that to the man's attention.
I'm glad you did it, because I'd hate to think that his hometown had not recognized it.
That's for sure.
That's wonderful.
Okay, but that was all I had for this morning.
Okay, buddy, I appreciate it very much.
Okay, appreciate you.
Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know how much we've learned about humor today. We've learned a couple of things that we already knew, I guess, that what makes me laugh might not make you laugh, and vice versa. You might enjoy one thing that just absolutely leaves me cold, and I know that's true because I know that all television shows are not top-rated. We're right back with you tomorrow for one of our special catch-up days. You be sure and be here between 9 and then. Whatever else you do today, you find somebody to be nice to.
For 50 years, this is where Northeast Georgia has come for news. We're News Radio 960, WRFC, Athens.
From ABC News, I'm John Belmont.
Although Pakistan was not the first to test, two wrongs don't make a right.
President Clinton very unhappy that Pakistan this morning ignored his repeated pleas and answered India with 5 nuclear blasts of its own.
I deplore the decision.
So Mr. Clinton says he has no choice but to slap sanctions on Pakistan. Let's get more on that by going live to the White House and ABC's Ann Compton. Ann?
John, the president's disappointment is obvious, but he couldn't have been surprised. In a phone call last night that ran until midnight, President Clinton warned the Pakistani prime minister he could expect tough economic sanctions. The U.S. worries about a nuclear arms race in the volatile region. President Clinton said he can't believe countries are going into the 21st century, repeating the worst mistakes of the 20th. John?
Thanks. ABC's Ann Compton live at the White House. Her lawyer was by her side, but it was her father who held Monica Lewinsky's hand going into a federal building in Los Angeles this morning. Dr. Bernard Lewinsky not very happy about Ken Starr compelling his daughter to provide handwriting and other samples. ABC's Stephen Tubbs is there and gives us a better read on what Dad had to say.
John, Monica Lewinsky arrived here at the FBI field office. She didn't speak, but her father told reporters, in his words, "My daughter is a pawn. Kenneth Starr is trying to use her as a pawn to get the presidency. It is unfair. It is totally un-American." Lewinsky is expected to be here at the FBI field office about 3 hours. She'll likely be fingerprinted and give handwriting samples. John?
Stephen Tubbs in L.A. President Clinton is challenging Republicans over something called the Patient's Bill of Rights. He's calling on lawmakers to pass it before going home for elections. Mr. Clinton calls it an urgent matter. A German judge says he wants to stop Internet access providers from putting profits ahead of protecting young people. He convicted a former German official of CompuServe for being an accessory in distributing pornography. Wall Street, the Dow Industrial's up 16. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm Bob Harris, and I'd like to tell you about a great telephone call we received about our fabulous new Smart Balance margarine spread. Dr. Michael Hale wanted to know about our Smart Balance patent to improve